Hi everyone, this is Natasha Telger with Illinois WorkNet, and today we are going to talk about the different assessments that are available in Illinois WorkNet and how that fits in with the customer support center tools that are available. So normally I would start out with jumping right into the customer support center, but for those that aren't as familiar with some of the assessments that are available in Illinois WorkNet, that's where we're going to start out today. So first of all, you go to illinoisworknet.com and log in. And then you can go into your tools. You can click on my dashboard. I already have it open. So what I want to show you is that, whenever you go to Illinois WorkNet and you go to my dashboard, you have personal tools and you have partner tools. So what you'll see is that with the personal tools, they're orange. These are things that your customers have access to. So they have access to their own assessment information. And in just a moment, we'll take a look at the partner tools. Okay, so I'm gone to my dashboard and you'll see that down here I have an area that's for assessment. So I have a variety, I can look to see if I had, this is my account, so I didn't have all assessments for everything in my account. But I do, you can access on your dashboard towards the bottom, but then if you're want to, you can go straight to the assessments tab at the top. So again, there's multiple ways to access this information. One of the reasons why we've had this assessments tab is just so that the customers know the different types of assessments that are available through Illinois WorkNet. And so, for example, if you click on the skills and interest survey, it'll take you to your results. But if you click learn more, then it's going to provide you with some instructions of how a little bit an overview of the different types of assessments that are available and where to find that information. So I'll just click on the skills and interest, and plus you'll notice that skills and interest is a very popular tool that's used in WorkNet, so it's available in a variety of ways, and you'll see it right up here at the top too. So I can click either one of those links and it'll take me to the skills and interest inventories, or if I want to go directly to my results, I can go click on that and it does a single sign-on with Career Information System, and so it'll take me directly to my results. If I've already taken an assessment, I can restore my answers and I can see those results. So we have a variety of tools available, different types of skills and interest surveys, inventories available through Illinois WorkNet. So the point is that you can see their results and they can see their own results. You have access to the same information. We have a disability benefits estimator, and with the learn more, it opens up into an article. So you can see how it works, what type of information you'll need, what's the summary result summary. And then we also have a video that's available specifically on the benefits estimator. We have Employment 101, which Employment 101 is an overall guide, but you'll know that with Employment 101, there's also a pre-assessment and a post-assessment. So the pre-assessment is something that can be completed one time and then it saves your results. And then the post-assessment can be completed as many times as you want to, and it's going to save the highest score that was whenever a person has completed their post-assessment. Once they've scored 70% or higher, then they can earn their certificate of completion. So although Employment 101, the primary use that everybody thinks of Employment 101 is the self-guided approach through different types of activities and different tools to learn about exploring careers, finding training programs, and so forth. It does include a pre and post assessment, which is why it is included in the assessments area. We also have the NOCD 21st Century Skills Assessment that's available to all of our Illinois WorkNet partners. You do have to be a partner in order to administer like this assessment. It's always been like very helpful whenever you are going through and working with your customers to prepare them to go on to worksite placement, because many times those customers go through some classes and some workshops, training to help to make sure that they are successful when they go on to this worksite placement. And so what they'll do is they use the NOCD 21st Century Skills assessment to say, before a person goes to that worksite placement is, I have the knowledge of workplace skills. And then they use that many times in combination with the observational assessment, which is more about it's more like an evaluation that an employer would provide. It talks about attitude, accountability, self-control, ambition, initiative. And so it has a rubric built into it with below standards, meet standards, exceed standards. And so it's really a tool that can be used, for helping your customers, understand what an employer is going to be looking for, especially if they have minimal work experience. And so, this tool is typically provided, at the very beginning so that they understand, what the expectation is. And then as time goes on, a few weeks in, it depends on your program, that you would provide this observational evaluation as, feedback on their progress. And then, towards the end of the program, before they go out to the work site, then you would provide this type of feedback as well. And so the idea is that we just want to make sure that we provide a variety of tools to help ensure that when they go to the workplace, they would be successful. So again, this one is about the knowledge of workplace skills, and this is about actually being able to, walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And so then we also have a worksite evaluation that is available. And so this one really fits in whenever the customer goes to the work site. And it, again, has a rubric built into it. It was originally designed for the youth employment program. So it's really geared towards individuals that have a minimal work experience. But the idea is still the same, is that, when you go out on the job, that you're going to have employers that are going to look at various things like attendance, punctuality, workplace appearance, taking initiative, quality of work, communication, responsive supervision, teamwork, problem solving, policy and safety, workplace culture. So what you can do with this tool is neat about it is that you as a partner can basically email it to the supervisor of the person that's, of the worksite placement, and they would just click a link, complete the evaluation. Once they submit that evaluation, it populates the customer's information. So regardless if they take the NOCD 21st Century Skills, if I had some results in here, you'd be able to see those. The same thing would go with the observational assessment. The customer can view those results, and the worksite evaluation, they are populated directly into Illinois WorkNet, so both you and your customer can view those results. So this is one way that you can access that information. And again, they can get it in My Tools under Assessments. It's incorporated really in a variety of ways. So now let me go ahead and just going to refresh this page real quick. Just because it's been sitting for a little while, so while it's refreshing, I'll show you where to find more information about these assessments in the partner side. So as we've mentioned in previous webinars. The orange side is the individual side, and the partner side, we have tools really focused towards partners. So to get there, you would just click the link over here that toggles between partners and individuals. So you want to go to the blue side, and we have an area called assessments. And we're going to be updating this page eventually on, not quite yet, have a little bit more information we want to collect and so forth about assessments before we dive into this page. But for now, we have information about assessments that are in WorkNet. We have past webinars, and then you can see the details for skills and interests and Employment 101. So these are all the things that we kind of talked about. We did talk about those. And then you have some additional resources. So some of the resources that would be available to the individual are available on this page. So you can see like this customer guide, but then as a partner, you have additional resources. So, you know, we have, especially for Employment 101, we have some different instructor guides, but then for NOCTI, we have, you know, a different, some partner guide and then some information specifically about NOCTI, and the same thing for the worksite evaluation and observational evaluation. So again, there's multiple ways you can get to this information. This is in particular on the partner side under the assessments menu item. So how does this all fit in with the Customer Support Center? So if you go to My Dashboard and you go to the Customer Support Center, then you'll have access to your customer groups. I already have myself into my personal group, and because I have a sample customer in my personal group. So when you go to this customer, you'll be able to see, you know, the groups, details, career plan, and you'll notice that there is an assessments tab. Now, this is why we really encourage all customers to only have one account. Okay, so when they're in your personal group, you know, sometimes the temptation, or let me just take a step back, especially when they're in your personal group, or if you have access to them through some other program, you can help them with looking up their username and resetting their password. Please avoid and help them avoid the temptation of setting up a separate account with either, you know, like a fake email or, you know, I don't know, somebody else's email or something goofy like that. Please just help them with resetting their password or encouraging them to reset their password. So you can do that easily by clicking on the reset password. And what that will do is you type in the new password, confirm new password, and it really sets up a temporary password. So once they log in, they'll be prompted to update that something that's more meaningful to them. Okay, so why do I spend time saying that? I spend time saying that because it is important that if we're going to save all this assessment information with the person, it needs to be with one account and not over 3 different accounts. Because these use single sign-on. So, you know, you have like the view interests, and it's going to go directly to whatever that account is associated with and what the assessments are saved with. So, you know, especially if they're in a special program, you know, you don't want to have to make them redo some of their assessments so that it's all the information is together. So I really, really encourage you to have them update, you know, just use one account. So this is a sample again. So you'll see we had disability benefits estimated. This person doesn't have anything. We have their Employment 101. We have their NOCTI assessment results. If this person, this again is a test person, but let's just say if they had something here, then you would be able to see kind of how their scores played out over the bigger picture of NOCTI. You don't get to see the actual which questions they missed, but just generally speaking, you can see kind of where they struggled or they excelled. Once they have completed their NOCTI assessment and passed, then they could click on, and you could click on the NOCTI skills badge or their certificate of completion, and you can download that information or access that information. Then we also have the observational evaluation, where you could view some of their other assessments or complete a new observational evaluation for them. This would be something that an instructor or somebody that's working with this person, they would be the one that would click the button to actually add in the assessment. When you're looking at a worksite evaluation, let's see, get this person here. Then what you could do is you simply, if you have their employers already in there, you could search the employers. Again, this is an old account, so it's been a while. You can click you can add a new employer, and then the idea is that you put in their job title, work placement, start date. If they don't have an end date, then you don't have to put one there. Save that job, and then you include the employer contact, so either search existing or add the new and send it to them. Or you can go ahead and submit the evaluation on behalf of the employer. So in that case, you would just skip step 3. So that's an overview of the worksite evaluation. Okay, so one of the other items that we added, because obviously there's lots of other assessments besides what's in Illinois WorkNet, and we have added a tool where you can add more assessments. So these are ones that are not available through WorkNet. So you can either choose basic skills assessment, you could choose like the TABE. Well, this is an old TABE, but you can add in those type of assessment results and save those results in here. There's other types of assessments. So if you're using like the Casey Life Skills, you could put that in here. And it's real generic. So the results, we've left it just an open box, so you can, depending on the type of results that you have, you could either leave a note to view this, look at if you uploaded, or whatever the case may be, or whatever the results are. It's very flexible because it's just a text box. As you'll notice, let's see, I forget what area. Okay, some people have what this is also doing is it's building up a bank of assessments. And so you can see that these are actually added in by some of our partners. They chose interest, and they did My Next Move and Reality Check. So the idea is that as people add more and more of these different assessments, that you could also kind of take a look at the different assessments that other partners are using and think about, or explore them, maybe you want to learn a little bit more. So it's really kind of about sharing, what you're using, and then you can determine if that would be like a best practice for your workflow for your organization. So if you're going to be adding in an assessment name, it would be really great to add in like a description. So some of them we had pre-populated. Let's see here at TABE. So I put in the description and then a URL. And we don't force everybody to do this, but if you're adding in in another assessment, let's say for behavior, I don't know, you can choose other, and then you can type in your description. So just think about it in terms of this is a stress assessment. Well, this is great. It's a stress assessment. But one of the things that would have been really helpful is if they either like put in a little description about, what type of assessment, or the URL, so a person could learn more about, incorporating that assessment, into their program. So this is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with what this person did whenever they entered this in, because they're using it for their own, for their particular situation. Just know that, again, it's about building up this library of assessments and being able to share best practices with other partners. So if you are going to add other assessments, just please add a little bit more detail, or a URL where someone could learn more about it. And again, that would be kind of a way to build up that bank of best practices for assessments. We also are, especially for the other assessments, when you add new ones, how are you using this assessment? So we have, that's why we ask, is it for career coaching, eligibility, improving performance, and then was it computer-based, an interview, scenario, self-guided? Again, we're all about collecting more information about these assessments so we can build out that partner page that I had showed you earlier, with the different types of assessments that partners are using, like the frequency in which they're using them and how they're using them, so we can learn more about that. Okay. And then depending on the special program that you may be in, that some programs are in, people are in, they use these for different types of, performance review type things, performance requirements, and so forth. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you is that in the career plan, now whenever you have the career plan builder, like I mentioned before, that we use this assessment module in many different ways. And in some ways it's to populate the page so the individual can see it. In other ways it's to populate so the partner can just see the other assessments. But then we also try to bring that information in wherever it makes sense. So whenever you build a career plan, you're supposed to review assessments, set goals, add steps, the routine. So what we want to do is, we want to bring in those assessment results into this area. So you can see a person's, different types of assessment results here in this area, more assessments. So again, it's used to populate multiple areas within Illinois WorkNet. Okay. Are there any questions? If you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to put them in the chat. Or if you'd like to share any information, or if you have any in particular needs for any specific types of assessments, please feel free to share those with us as well, because then we can, take a look at those different types of assessments, possibly find a subject matter expert on that either topic area or a particular assessment, and offer you some future webinars on that information. And if you don't have anything, that's fine too. So, all right. Well, if there aren't any questions, we'll be here for just a little bit. But if there aren't any questions, thank you very much for joining us today. Look forward to being able to meet with you on our next webinar for the Customer Support Center. And if you think of something after the fact, always go ahead and share that with info@illinoisworknet.com. So thank you very much, everyone. You have a great rest of your day.